Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Brandon here with another video for you guys today, and it's going to be stimulus related a little bit, but as you can see by the title of the video, it's 5 things you should do with your stimulus checks. And I know a lot of people have already gotten the stimulus check early in March or April, whenever it was, I don't quite remember. But today on this video, I'm just going to be kind of going over some things that are best practice for you to do with your either $600 stimulus check or $2,000 stimulus check, depending on the details later on. But before we get into the video, make sure to subscribe to my channel and like the video if you like the content. It really goes a long way for my channel. It helps me out so much. I'm trying to put out videos for you guys Monday through Friday with usually a Sunday night watch list, but it just kind of depends on how busy I am. But if you guys are interested in that, seriously, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. But before I ramble on, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so before I go over the 5 things, it's important to note for this video, I'm not including paying your bills or necessities. This is solely going over if this stimulus check is going to be excess of what you already have. Because if this stimulus check is something that you're really looking forward to and relying on, you don't need to consider these things. You need to take care of yourself first before you can really look into these avenues. So with that disclaimer out of the way, let's head into number 1. All right, number 1, this is going to be the most important. So 1 through 5 is going to be most important to look at, and down to 5 is going to be less important, but can be very opportune for you, so just stay tuned. But number 1 is paying off any high interest debt that you have. Now, this one is definitely the least sexy out of the 5, but it is very, very important you pay down your high interest debt. It could either be student loans, it could be any loan, credit card debt especially. Pay down that credit card debt. But it's typically anywhere that's over like 6-ish% interest rate or higher that you need to pay down. Anytime you're wondering if it's a high interest debt or not, if you can't reasonably make that percent back in the stock market in a year, you need to pay that down ASAP. Because if you're able to pay down a 9% loan, that's like you're making 9%, and which is much more advantageous for you to do as opposed to just trying to invest in the stock market, reaching and hoping that you're going to get 10% to kind of, even 9% just to cancel it out. It doesn't make sense to set yourself through that headache. Just try to pay off that high interest debt first. Even if it's thousands of dollars, $600, a chunk off of that is way better than just letting it sit there and continue to compoundly or to get just huge, because things will add up very quick for you, and it's not a fun situation to be in. So please pay off that high interest debt. All right, so if you have number 1 out of the way, number 2 is very important, and that's building an emergency fund. And this one's also not very glamorous, but it's very important that you have this. Now, with emergency funds, a lot of people recommend you have about 6 months of expenses, either in a high interest savings account or however you want to have it easily accessible to you. So say you have $1,000 a month of expenses. I know that's low, just keeping it simple for everybody. $1,000 a month. So that means you're going to need about $6,000 saved up just in case something bad happens. Let's say another huge shutdown happens or you lose your job, whatever the case may be. It's recommended that you have 6 months saved, so that way if anything does happen that's very detrimental to your life, you're going to be covered for at least half a year. And that's very important to have, so that way you have a little bit of peace of mind. If something does go wrong in your life, you know that you have a little bit of a fallback. So please build those up. That's very important to do. All right, now number 3 is when we're going to be getting into a little bit of the more exciting things, maybe something that will interest you guys more. But number 3 is going to be invest in index funds. And this is going to mean you have the other 2 things out of the way. You're ready to really make your money, make you money, which is the best goal in life to have. And this is the best, easiest hands way off to make the most money in your life without even thinking about it. Either investing in just the S&P 500, Vanguard, ARK ETF, a little bit more risky, but high payoff. But the reason I say these things It's because investing in index funds is the most guaranteed way to become a millionaire. Even though it'll take 20, 30 years, it's a guaranteed way to become a millionaire. And especially if you have a full-time career, index funds are the most easiest, most simple thing to do in order to grow your wealth exponentially. And so that's why if you get the $600, just throw it in an index fund, and then you never even have to think about it ever again. And if you're needing to set up a brokerage account, I will leave my Robinhood link down in the description. It'll give you a free stock. So if you want to get started in the right direction, shameless plug. Now moving on to number 4, and that is building off of number 3, but number 4 is going to be investing in individual stocks. And the reason why this is a little bit lower on the list, like not everybody will be able to do or want to do, is because investing in individual stocks is going to take a little bit more hands-on time and researching, just due to the fact is sometimes you want to look at the company's balance sheet, their earnings, their CEO, just everything under the company's umbrella. And the reason why you invest in individual stocks is that if you're right, you can make way more gains than an index fund. And this is definitely a fast track way to get you to wealth, but you have to do this carefully, because if you invest in a bad company or you don't do proper research, you could have your money just be stagnant, or you could even lose some money depending if the company is really that bad. So the reason why this is not for everyone is because not everybody has the time to invest time into researching companies. But if you do have some free time and you have this stimulus check waiting around, do some research into some companies you like. And if you do really like a company, put that money in there. And a good rule of thumb is always, if you use it and you see it standing the test of time, so say you're going to see it being here 10 years from now, absolutely put your money in it. It's not a recommendation though, don't listen to me. But anytime you're using an item in your everyday life and you think it's going to stand the test of time, just put your money in there. It's as simple as that. And then ideally it'll grow faster and more than an index fund will over time. Because index funds are slow movers but consistent movers. Individual stocks, depending on it, can move very quickly. And okay, before I say number 5, just have to introduce it a little bit. So number 5, this is if you already have 1 and 2 out of the way, and you already have a long-term portfolio, whether it's index funds or individual stocks or both. You're pretty set in there, and you're wondering, hey, how can I really make my money grow hugely, or how just can I make it the most leverage I can do? Now, this one is definitely not recommended to everybody, but for the select few people, number 5 is going to be put the money into options. And now, I would recommend not putting all of it into options. You should definitely put some into options if you have the time or you know what you're doing. And the reason why I say this is I've covered it on several videos before. Options trading can either be the best or worst thing that's ever happened to you in your life. They can either make you get 1,000% gains, or you could blow up your account completely. So if you're needing, I will drop another link in the video to my credit spreads video on how to do credit spreads. It's a semi-safe option strategy to build up your account way quicker than any stock or index fund will. But it's important to know with options, like I said earlier, it can definitely be gambling if you do it wrong. And even it's a fine line. People always argue whether or not it is. But options is a great tool if you already have these other things implemented. But if you don't have any of the other things and you're just trying to trade options, what are you doing? You should be saving money. You do not need to be trading options if you do not have a long-term account. If you don't have a long-term account and you're trying to use all your money for options, that's very scary, because if you have bad options trade or you leverage yourself too much, you're going to lose all your money, and that's going to be a very sad day. Because at the very least, if you have an options account and you lose all your money and you have a long-term account, at least you can fall back on your long-term account and you'll have that no matter what. So make sure you have those other 4 things done before you even consider options trading. but if you use it correctly, it can make you so much money. And like I said, I'll drop a link down to the credit spread video in the description as well. But guys, that was the top 5 things that you should do with your stimulus check coming up, whether it's $600 or $2,000. Who knows? I'll probably cover that in a future video to see an update on what's going on, because it's craziness right now. But if you enjoyed the video and the content, make sure to subscribe to my channel and like the video. Helps me out so much. I'm still a small growing channel. I'm trying to put out a lot of content for you guys. So if you enjoy it, please support me as much as you can. I really appreciate all you guys that do. But before, again, I ramble on so much, I want you guys to have such a great day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day.